Welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name is JD Bloodstone, and we are in the middle of a case break. This is Cardsmiths Space Galactic Edition. This is video number 5. These are boxes 9 and 10. And as you guys know what I do here, I start off with weighing these, and these both happen to be 179 grams. The last two videos have been extraordinary. I certainly hope that we can top those two videos. 2 videos ago we pulled the, should I say, semi box hits. There's 2 in every case, pulled those back to back. And then in the last video we did pull the case hit, and of course a secret case hit, which is those cryptoids. And I have those with me. I'll show you those at the end of the video, but let's get started. So this here is box 9, 179 grams. That is on the lighter side of these. And true to form, the last box that we pulled that was 178 grams had the cryptoid in it. There are no of those inserts in these mega boxes like there are in the collector boxes. So far, I'm not really sure if the weight tells us anything. We've got a lot of boxes to go before we're through this case, but we are halfway through the second inner carton. And we've got 24 boxes in this case, so we're not even halfway through. Fortunately, there is a gemstone refractor, at least the odds are that there's a gemstone refractor in every mega box. So we do have that going for us. Still a lot of good cards out there to be claimed. And right off the bat, we've got Curvature there. So that is a good sign. That is good to go right off the bat. Seeing a lot of green, so that makes me think it's well, I won't spoil it, but here we've got Io, Galileo Galilei, Quantum Mechanics Holo, should get 3 of those per box, Nicholas Copernicus, Halley's Comet, Milky Way, Werner Heisenberg base, and there we go, Andromeda, 23 of 99. It is indeed an emerald. Very, very beautiful card. Nice hit. Algorithm Holo and Cork. So emerald's not bad. The best I've hit out of 1.5 cases was a ruby trigonometry, and that sold quickly on eBay. Not seeing any curvature there, but not expecting any more out of this box. Gamma ray bursts. However, I have noticed that Cardsmiths Arecibo has a knack of surprising me, and as soon as I think I know something, they throw a twist in, Williamina Fleming iced foil, quantum physics, Nicholas Copernicus, Enceladus, rocket, Nikola Tesla Hollow, Werner Heisenberg, and coronal mass ejection. Continuing on, still have not pulled the redemption. Again, there is no guarantee of a redemption. Odds are that there are one in every case. Fingers crossed for that. Black hole, Percival Lowell, Williamina Fleming iced foil, 2 of those. Titan, Eclipse, Max Planck, Richard Feynman, Gamma Ray Burst, Matrix, should get 3 of those in a box. Carl Sagan iced foil, and Asteroid. Okay, final 2 packs of this box. Will we go out with a bang on this box, or is that emerald all she wrote? Always check for curvature. Just out of habit. Halley's Comet, Exoplanet, Helium, Matrix, Holofoil, Callisto, Milky Way, Jupiter, Hydrogen, Earth, Matrix, James Webb Space Telescope, and Quark. Alright. Very cool. And moving on to box number 10. Again, this weighed 179 grams. This is right in line with the others. I think as far as expectations go, I mean, you don't want to expect anything, but odds are there is at least a gemstone refractor. So, and there should only be 8 packs in here. Way back in video number 2 had a 191 gram box, which ended up having an extra pack in it. So that was a nice surprise. Haven't seen that before. Can't imagine that's common. But then again, if I ran into it, it's probably common. My dad used to say, if you have one, it ain't rare. And look at that. Curvature. Try not to see the color until the reveal. Vera Rubin. Helium. Boom. Look at that, folks. Oh my. That's an alpha hydrogen Ruby, number 1 of 25. That is the biggest hit I've pulled so far out of these 2 cases. So in a way, we ended up actually beating the last 2 videos. How about that? Alpha cards, which are the first of a serial numbered cards, typically fetch a premium, as well as the last card of a serial number. Those are called omegas. Those also fetch a premium. However, I believe alphas catch more of a premium. And that is hydrogen. That is a beautiful card. And as I was just saying, the last ruby I sold in about an hour on eBay for $350. With that being an alpha, I would imagine we could get more for that. That is spectacular. Let's keep going. Comet, Hollow, Beetlejuice, Base, Niels Bohr, Big Bang, Arecibo with the misspelling, Matrix, Isaac Newton, Iced Foil, and the Moon. All right. Very exciting, folks. I was not optimistic that we would be able to beat. Well, I wasn't thinking we'd be able to beat 2 videos ago, and then the last video we did beat it. We hit back-to-back case hits, and I thought, man, that's got to be it, right? Like, how do we beat that unless we pull a redemption? But I think that does it. Moving on, we've got Rocket, Ganymede, Earth, Hollow, probably everybody's favorite card, Brown Dwarf. I like what the back says, home, period. Venus, Brown Dwarf, String Theory, Constellation, Iced Foil, Algorithm, and Telescope. Now, aside from space and astronomy, which you guys all know I'm a big fan of, I really like the whole concept of these cards in that they've found a way to blend collectability with education. I feel like after doing a bunch of these that these are like flashcards. While I'm not going to test my memory on camera, I feel like a lot of these times I can tell you what these cards are without looking at the back, but that's just my thinking. These videos are for you, trigonometry, and I have no idea if this is your first video, your second, or if you've been following me the whole time. So that's why I like to go through all of these cards. Stars, Matrix, Asteroid, Algebra. Were you guys following that 3-Eye Atlas story? That was pretty crazy, huh? Stephen Hawking. Let me know if you guys enjoy astronomy and space, or if you guys were following that 3-Eye Atlas story. What do you guys think? Was that is that just obviously it wasn't normal, but was that natural phenomenon, or do you think that there's something else going on there? Neptune, Matrix. I don't know if you guys can see that, but the way the emerald and the ruby hit off the lights is something else. James Webb. Cork. Alright. Final 2 packs. What was supposed to be 2 normal, air quotes, boxes ended up being, to date, the best pull, other than the redemption. Actually, more than the redemption, because the redemption I pulled was just 1 Litecoin. At the time, it was 1 Litecoin was $112. I think it's down to 79 or 80 right now. And I did actually redeem that with Cardsmiths. I'm going to do a video on that whole process and what they sent me. Paul A.M. Dirac, Nikola Tesla, J. Robert Oppenheimer. I know there's a lot of people who are skeptical about sending those redemptions away, especially when they have value, considering that Cardsmiths actually makes you put attention redemptions on the label. There's Orc Cloud. And while I'm not a fan of that, I guess my attitude is that I don't have anything to begin with, so I'm not losing anything. So I might as well ship it to them and give it a go, because if it gets lost or stolen, I'm not out anything. But I can tell you I did go through the process, and it's complete, and I got my 1 Litecoin. So I am satisfied with the process. Of course, if it was 1 Bitcoin, I'd probably be more stressed, but I don't have 1 Bitcoin. And if I did, I would hopefully have the same attitude. Quasar, Cold Foil, Milky Way, and our final card is the Big Bang. So that's it. Although we did not get the quantity pulls, we definitely got quality. And here's a recap. This is Andromeda. This is an Emerald, number 23 of 99. And here she is. Best pull of 2 breaks to date. Hydrogen and Alpha, number 1 of 25. Look at that. The card numbers. You see that? The card number is 25. And it's a Ruby, 25. And it's the Alpha. And Hydrogen is also number 1 on the periodic table of elements, because it says it right there in the first sentence, the most abundant element in the universe. So there is a lot of crazy forces in the universe that made me pull that for you guys on camera. And I happen to have these with me, so I might as well show them off as well. So 2 videos ago, we pulled these. There should be 2 of these in a case, and we pulled these in back-to-back boxes. This is Dimensional Rift, and this is Crowded Neighborhood. And these are the Deep Space refractors. And in the last video, we had our 2 back-to-back case hits. This is Jupiter, a solar system refractor. And then this is Mothman, a Cryptoid. They don't advertise these. These were secret cards. But on average, you should get one per case. And so far we have met those averages. So that's all I got for you in this video today, folks. I hope you were as entertained as I was, and I appreciate you guys following along, joining me for this ride. Stay tuned. In our next video, we will have box number 11 and 12, and that will close out the inner carton number 2. And after that, we will be halfway through this case. We still have not hit that redemption card. It's not guaranteed, but it's out there. It's got our name on it. And we've got a lot of gemstone refractors to pull. Lots more to go here. Again, thank you all. I'll see you in the next one.